many years, I have been fortunate enough to be invited to the annual Bakels Supreme Pie Awards. It is the highlight of the social calendar. It truly is. And guess what? I'll let you in on a little secret. They don't serve pies. I know. Everyone goes, oh, do you sit down to pies, Leah? No pies for din-dins, but we do have a lovely evening. But that aside, it is fantastic. You know why? Because it's great to see all the bakers there, that every day they turn up at their jobs, they turn up, and normally the wee hours of the morning, you know, they start at 2, 3 in the morning. I mean, how? To turn out not just, you know, the pies, they turn out delicious food, but delicious pies for hungry Kiwis. So they're getting the accolades they deserve. It's so wonderful to see. Oh, and we love our pies. My gosh, the average Kiwi eats around 15 meat pies a year. You might be thinking, oh, Leah, I eat more than that. This is the average, resulting in just over 74 million pies consumed nationally. And that's just the meat pies. So if we took into account, you know, the sweet ones and the veggie pies, it's likely to top about 80 million. Woo-wee! Once on the lips. And we've all got our personal favourite, of course. I've said this before, but to me, you can't go past the classic mince and cheese all the way. But of course, we are spoilt for choice now. Steak and cheese, chicken, vegetable, bacon and egg, vegetarian, seafood, gourmet meat, lamb ragu, butter chicken. It's endless, absolutely endless. The Bagel Supreme Pie Awards have been running since 1997 and are now the biggest food competition in the country. And while I've been lucky enough to attend, I've never been a judge. My next guest, however, is a celebrity chef judge, Nici Wickes, and she joins me now, food writer as well, of course. Nici, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah. What a beautiful introduction. All about the pies. I love it. I'm like you. I'm totally excited. I'm overexcited.
Oh, Nici, do you know what I said to my producer? I said, oh, my gosh, I have not seen Nici for years. I could not wait to talk to her, and I can't wait to see her tonight. And before we jump in, Nici, I've just got to ask, what is your favourite pie?
Well, it's interesting. If I'm to make a pie at home, I would say that I love a chicken pie. I love a chicken pie. A chicken or a sort of, I did put a Moroccan lamb pie in the newspaper last week in celebration of this. And so I love both of those two. But if I'm out, I probably, you know, if you'd asked me before last Tuesday when I helped to judge the awards, I might have said something like a steak and mushroom or a pepper steak. But I'll tell you what, having judged the pies, I love the potato tops.
Oh,
and which is so funny because it was quite a surprise for me because I wouldn't normally purchase one of those when I was out.
Me neither.
Oh. You want to try one of those now. As an adult, I say as an adult because I did used to love those when I was at school, in primary school. But we used to get shouted a pie for our birthday.
Yes.
But I tell you what, a potato top pie, the potato in there, the mashed potato, and then all the meaty gravy filling. Oh, it's not bad. I've got to tell you. So
because I'm like you, Nici. I've never. That's not my go-to. Hubby likes now and then he'll go, oh, potato top. I might get one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, can't go past my mince and cheese. And but okay. Like you know,
I challenge you to give it a go. I challenge you to give it a go. But I mean, of course,
I accept.
You know, the challenge you accept. But I mean, of course, if it's the morning and I'm coming back from the beach or something, a little bacon and egg would be just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go past a bacon and egg pie.
No.
In fact, Leah, I'll tell you what happened to me on judging day because I'm not a rookie pie eater, but I was a rookie judge. So the first the first category that was up were the bacon and egg pies, and so I went much too hard. I sampled that. They brought out a whole tray of 10 of them, or maybe there was 20, and they cut them all up, and I sampled all of those. They were amazing, and I thought, oh good, well I've got through those. They bring out the second and the third and the fourth tray of bacon egg. It's a big category. Not the biggest category, but to be honest, I'd sort of overdone it a little bit.
Oh no!
Yeah,
were the other judges just doing like a little nibble and looking at the pastry and crumbling it, and you're like, and you really had a pie.
they've done this before. And of course, then being the celebrity judge, I had to go around and do all the different categories. Whereas the judges, if you were bacon and egg, you just bacon and egg. If you're mince and cheese, you mince and cheese sort of thing. So I managed to get around all of the different categories, which was, honestly, it was a dream come true. It was just a dream job. So I loved it.
You didn't have to eat till 3 days later, probably.
Well, honestly, I drove home that night thinking, I never want to see another pie, I thought, but I had, of course, they'd ordered some other special pies in, and so I took some home. Next morning, I mean, literally, I went to bed that night groaning, going, I will not eat another pie. That's just too many. Woke up the next morning at about mid-morning, I thought, I've got one of those little bacon and egg pies in the pie fridge. Out it came, heated up, and I scoffed it and thought, well, there you go. I'm well qualified for the job, I'd say.
You are well qualified. So were you blown away, Nici, by about the sheer number? Because is it true there's probably is it over 5,000 pies?
Over 5,000 entries, Leah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it is a huge competition, and it's so well run. These guys, as you mentioned, have been doing it since 1997.
Amazing.
It's very technical. Over 5,000 entries. It's extraordinary. It really is. And every single one of them gets displayed. You have people in white coats, chef jackets, and they've got these gorgeous pies in their hand, and they're showing them to us, tops, bottoms. We take a good look at them for a start off, cut them down the middle sort of thing. Let's have a look at the filling. So it's judged really critically, which is fantastic. And I've got to say, the standard is just so high. I can't believe it.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you that. What are you looking for? There's obviously quality pastry filling. I mean, what's the key tick? When you tick the box, what do you got to look at?
Well, I suppose the most amount of single points that sort of get attributed is the taste of it, is the flavour. But really, to get to that point, you have to have a really good-looking pie as well. So it has to look really appealing. The pastry is critical for a pie. I probably really understood that for the very first time. You want something that's going to hold together. It needs to look good. It needs to not be dirty on the bottom, which means the trays haven't been cleaned well. It needs to look perfect. The top needs to puff. You need to see all those beautiful layers of the pastry. They've really puffed up, unless you've done potato top, of course. So that's really, we do eat with our eyes. So at first you look and go, that looks like a good pie, It doesn't look boring. Maybe it's got a little sprinkle on top. It's not necessary, but, has it got a good golden colour? I would have to say, not necessarily, but, these professional bakers, but most people, particularly home cooks, tend to undercook pastry. So it's very easy to undercook pastry. Pastry takes a lot longer than you'd think to cook. So we're first of all looking for a really beautiful golden crust. That's where it all starts, I'd have to say.
My gosh, you can sell it, Nici. My gosh. Now I've heard there are very strict rules, even down to like the weight of the pie. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So, from memory, I think 280 grams for most of the categories. I think the cafe ones could be a little bit heavier because sometimes they're a bit more sort of boutique-y. But no, 280 grams. That's really so that it's just very uniform across the whole comp. And, unfortunately, there were a few disqualifications where because everybody sends in two pies. And, if it was at 290, we sort of had to go, sorry. Because there needs to be a consistency, because you know what it's like. If you recommend a pie in a pie shop, you need your mates to be able to go and get that exact same pie.
That's a fair call.
You don't want to. It can't be under or over. Meat to gravy ratio is very important as well inside. So you don't just want a whole lot of kind of flavoured sort of gravy. You really want those nice big chunks. If it's a steak pie, you want to see some chunks of steak. Very good.
Do you know my husband? The one thing he doesn't like, and he loves a good pie, is he calls it plastic cheese. Now I love plastic cheese. I don't mind it, but he'll have a pie and I'll go, this is a good pie, and he's like, no, plastic cheese. And he wants real cheese. But
he really wants it to melt, doesn't he? He wants it to melt all the way through.
But that must be massively expensive for bakers. I'm sure they all use plastic cheese.
I've got to tell you, it's a cheap snack. It's a very, relative to what goes into making a pie, I would say they're a very affordable meal/snack in this country, because compared to a burger or something like that, they're dirt cheap, and they're full. I was going to say full of goodness. I don't know if I can say that, but I mean, they're crammed full. That's the other thing. We look for air pockets and things like that, and the ones that we judge highly are packed full to the brim.
Yes,
and if you make, when I made these pies the other week, pastry's not cheap, meat's not cheap, chicken's not cheap, So it's not a cheap thing to produce necessarily, hence the reason why most of our bakers have got to produce quite a lot of them to make them worthwhile. But no, I mean, good quality, but no, they're by no means are they sort of something that's cheap and cheerful to produce.
No, I can
but
imagine.
I think they're affordable on the pocket. That's what I love about them. They're accessible.
And butter, Nici, butter. You're a cook, a baker. I mean, the people, they must be struggling with the cost of butter.
Well, yes, you can get, I can just tell all these food writers out there are going to slam me for saying this, but, you can get an adequate pastry out of butter substitutes these days, and many of them do. And that's fine, kind of thing. I mean, yes, you need the puff. It really needs to have a fat content in pastry. It doesn't need to be butter, but it does need to be fat. And that's another thing that the Bakels team are very, very, very careful with. You need to have a base pastry that's got a certain amount of fat in it, generally less content than the lid that's a puff pastry. So they were definitely looking for that as well. Yeah. I mean, it was just, I learned so much about pie making, and I can't wait to meet these bakers tonight.
What do you think, Nici, why as a country, why we love our pies? Why do Kiwis love pies so much, do you think?
I just don't know, because I really miss a meat pie when I'm away. No other country does a meat pie that if you like is handheld. I mean, I suppose you have empanadas. I suppose you do have empanadas in South American countries and that sort of thing. But we are renowned for our meat pie. I don't know what it is. It obviously came, I mean, a lot of places will have a family-style meat pie that you cut a slice out of for dinner, but not many people use it as a takeaway option. They really are, to me, they're our burger, they're our slice of pizza, they're our sushi. We are the meat pie. I don't think you find them anywhere else. You probably get them in the UK.
Australians try and take it, don't they?
Of course, Australia, but who cares? I mean, we've got quality meat here that's going into ours. So, you're right. But Australia, us, and I suppose UK, and I guess that's where it comes from. But I wonder if we eat more meat pies per capita than Australia. I need to find that out, because I would be surprised.
Do you know what I love about this competition? And I did it a little bit in the intro about how these bakers get to be, an evening and rewarded. And I love the fact it's life changing for these bakers, because I think of a guy called Patrick Lamb, who I'm sure you've heard of, who's literally a standout performer at the Bakels.
7-time winner, I think.
Yes. Oh, I think he's even more now. He clinched.
He probably is. Sorry if I'm. Yes, I might be underestimating
He's now called the country's Pie King. And you're right. He won the Supreme Pie Award 8 times as of 2023. And he clinched the title in 2023. Oh, get this, Nici, with his roast duck, onion, and mushroom. Stop it. Oh,
I mean, I want that right now, and I'm not even particularly hungry, but I may.
Should say my producer, Kelly, she hates it when we talk about this, because she's like, oh, now I want a pie. I want a pie.
No, I want a pie, But he is an extraordinarily good baker.
Extraordinary
and, of course, I don't know if he entered anything this year, because, of course, we judge completely blind. So we wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I'm sure some people behind the scenes do, but you don't want to get a pie and someone say, oh, that's Patrick Lamb's, because you're going to be biased. You're going to say, oh, well, I think this is good or whatever. So, no, we have no idea. So I'm sure he will have entered this year for sure.
And what I love about, I bring up Pat because I remember all the years ago when he won, and he got on stage and he was just so quiet and said a very quick speech. And then last year, I think he won something last year, of course. I think he did. And he got up, or maybe it was 2023, I saw him in, and he got up and he brought his wife and his kids, who are now like grown up. he's suited and booted with his hair slicked back like he's a rock star. And he got up there and he got a big speech. He said, I can't thank Bakels enough, and I can't thank you guys. I mean, without a word of a lie, it's put my kids through uni or something. And we're like, eh? Well, because they sell out, don't they, Nici? When they win Supreme Pie Award, they barely can keep up. They can't keep up with orders. So
they will have lines out the door.
Yeah,
I mean, there's lots of locals that go, we love that taste for pie, but you're right, it is life-changing for them. And in fact, some of the pies that we judged that were perhaps had quite a bit of detail on top, we sort of thought, if they win, they're gonna rue the day that they did all that detailing on top. Because you suddenly, you are suddenly, I believe the numbers are something like you'll increase by at least 400%.
Yes.
Sort of thing. It's a huge amount.
And now you've got to make this intricate lid on every one of your pies.
I know, on a whole lot, exactly. Yeah. And I also think the prize money is quite generous too for a food award, which is great. Yeah. I believed. I shouldn't really be quoting things, but I think it's about $7,500 for the big pie, the big king of the pie awards, queen. And I mean that's great. So I have huge respect for our bakers.
Brilliant. Yep, and I mean,
and it's a gorgeous night of celebration.
It's a great night of celebration. Yeah, and of course the bragging rights and a big bump in their business. I mean, this is the idea of it too. Yeah. And you're celebrating them. So Nici, I mean, you've done your job, and I'm sure you did it well, and you've marked everything, and you don't know what the other judges have obviously put down for the prize.
No, that's the other thing. As we whittle it down, I mean, I'll be honest, I did not have to try all 5,000 of them. There was a team of people who sort of whittled them down. But I would have tried, many hundreds. I would have taken many hundreds of little bites of them. And then, and then the final sort of category winners, if you like, it comes down to that. We take those, and then we judge for our supreme pie. And nobody knows with regards to the judging. You're not looking over someone else's shoulders going, you're marking it that. Oh no, it's very private. But it's extraordinary. You take a group of judges, and we all know what we're judging for, and it comes back, and there's a clear winner. So.
That's good though.
Say, surely it's personal preference, and it's like no. You've got categories. You're looking at the top, the bottom pastry, the flavour, the construction, the idea of it. All of that. The look of it. Yeah. So I don't know. Yes.
You don't. I know, and that's fantastic. I was just going to say I love the fact that that each year I've gone when they've announced as they go through different categories, how people. I realised when I look around the room, we really, because I said mince and cheese is my, it's a classic. I love it. But people get quite wound up about, I think there was a vegetarian pie that won. It's won a couple of times, I think, the Supreme. And people were like outraged. How can a vegetarian pie beat a meat pie? And then people were talking about it leaving the venue. And I said, I remember thinking, gosh, we're funny people, aren't we? Because it's, and like a fruit pie. A fruit pie's won before, Nici, a sweet. And then,
I know, and apparently there was absolute outrage at that.
Oh my God.
That is correct.
Tables flipped, Nici. I mean, literally people were stomping out of there. Like, it's funny.
Well, I used to take umbrage at butter chicken pies. When they first came in, I was like, that's so annoying. That's not a
Nici.
pie.
I don't like it's not a pie.
Well, but have we ever had one?
Well, because it doesn't belong in a pie.
Well, let me tell you, I had a few, and they were blooming good. Because we had anything from power, creamed power pies.
Yes. Give us some of the exotics. Can you tell us the exotics?
Some of the exotics. So the ones that I remember, creamed power was one, which was really, fantastic. There was a spicy prawn pie. There were some really great vegetarian pies this year. I mean, I'm talking the sort of ones that stood out for me because they were different. They were exceptional. I think the mince and cheese and the steak and cheese are the biggest categories still by far.
But sanity reigns.
Yeah, look, people still love those old favourites. But, I mean, I'm just trying to think of any other ones that we had.
I tried a lamb ragu. A lamb ragu.
Oh, yum.
With cheese. I thought that was quite exotic. That was quite a
oh, that's
That was
pretty
beautiful.
good, yeah.
Mm-mm.
And there was something, I might have this detail wrong, but I think it was because the chicken and vegetable pie, and I think this one was chicken and stir-fry vegetables.
Oh.
And you really got the flavour of stir-fry through it. They'd put quite a lot of capsicum. And that was fantastic.
Okay.
That was like, oh, that's really, I can really
Feels
taste
like
that
I'm having a
sort of chicken stir-fry
meal.
idea, yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
So look, people are very innovative.
They are,
really
and
are.
I think they're really trying to each year. They step it up. They keep stepping it up to try and do something quite exotic or different. And finally, my love, now you have been, I love watching you on Instagram. You're a food writer. I met you years ago. You were part of the when we did a competition
we were cooking roast
together.
dinners together, I
we
think.
were cooking roast dinners together. Nikki,
you won
no,
that,
I won, but
recall.
Nikki was amazing. She came around us when we were cooking, and she's like, "What are you drinking here, Leah? What are you doing? Maybe you should try this." It was like, and I was like, "Get out of the kitchen!" No, I didn't. You were fantastic. But I wanted to ask you, in this day and age, all I see. Well, not all I see, but I see a lot on the Instagrams. I'm not on TikTok, but, Reels and things. There's a lot of online chefs, or cooks now, Nikki. What do you make of that phenomenon? I mean, some, I must admit, are very good. I think they are like you. They are proper chefs. But there's people that obviously just think that they know what they're doing. But what do you make of the rise of social media
interesting,
chefs?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's the rise of greed, to be honest. And I think appetite is sort of, appetite for food is something that we seem to be quite insatiable around. I mean, I can't believe that people now, eating now is eating and shopping sort of are real forms of entertainment now. Now, I'm a long way off eating to live, I can tell you. But I definitely live. I definitely don't eat to live. I live to eat, and I adore that. But I think if you're doing that all the time, and if you're absorbing that through social media, people's cooking has not improved, and people's frequency of cooking their own meals is not improving either. So or increasing. So I think it's just easy entertainment, and I do caution people around. There's some great hacks out there that I've learned from Instagram or whatever that I go, oh, that's a good idea. I wonder if it works, and I'll try it out and think, oh, it's good. But there's a lot of tripe on there as well that really isn't worth your watching time. And if you're not really seeking something out and going to then go and cook it, then why are you watching it? Really, it's just that greediness for content.
For the likes, isn't it? Yeah.
It's our preoccupation with food. I mean, we see that now. In terms of our obesity rates and things like that, I mean, food is a serious business. Yeah. So I think in terms of online, you've got to have your trusted sources, and follow a few people, but don't get inundated by it, because you don't want to be daunted either. And to me, it needs to be good, practical food that you can cook at home, that you can afford to cook, that's not going to kill you, sort of thing. So it can't be too sugar laden. I don't like a lot of the chefs where you do have quite thin chefs making these extraordinary cakes and going, oh, I can barely hold myself back. And I think, you are holding yourself back. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's naughty, because really, I think that you shouldn't be purporting to do that and make other people eat that. Sugar is a temptation and an addiction. And I don't think we need to be purporting to that. But by all means, go on there and find a new meal or a new breakfast that you could be having. We don't need to look far, do we, these days?
No, we don't, my love. No, we don't.
Yeah.
Nikki, what an absolute pleasure. Lovely to catch up again. I look forward to seeing you tonight, and an exciting evening ahead, and I cannot wait to find out who is the supreme winner.
I know. Well, neither me. Okay, well, both of us. You'll hear us whooping in the audience, dressed up in our 70s garb.
Oh, my gosh.
And, I look forward to it.
All right. That is fantastic, Nici Wickes. Lovely to talk. And Nikki is, of course, a chef and a food writer, an accomplished baker, you name it. She's got, check her out on socials, by the way. I love watching her. What I love about Nikki is she is just, as you've heard her talking, she's a boost of energy, and everything she cooks, she's like, real natural. It's not about gimmicky or looking, stacks of makeup and a pristine kitchen. Not that she's listening going, well, Leah, I'm also not. I do make an effort. I know she does. And it's good, wholesome food. It's good stuff. It warms the heart. Well, it should be warming your tummy, but you know what I'm saying.